I think, a lot of people are saying that Riccha Chaddha did not know what she was saying or what she was talking about. I think she knew very well what she was talking about. It was intentional. I don't think you would have seen any successful film star making, these sort of controversial statements or anti-national statements. Only these people, failed in their careers. Indian Army is like a low-hanging fruit. You abuse the Indian Army, you abuse the soldier, and suddenly, within a group of certain people, you become very popular, you become very famous, and that is it. What did General Dwivedi say? After all, he said that there is a 1994 Parliament resolution, and if the government gives the orders, we will. What do they want the army commander to say? That we are not prepared? If the government says we will not do it, is that the expectation from the army commander? The Indian Army is ready 24/7. That is what the Indian Army exists for. If tomorrow the Parliament were to task the army, or the government were to task the army, walk into POK, they will walk into POK at the time and place of their choosing, of course. So Riccha Chaddha knew exactly what she was talking about, and now she's playing the victim card by saying, "I didn't know, and I have a relative, and I have some uncle or my grandfather who was shot in the leg, and something like that, and it's in my blood." She says, "Army is in my blood." No, ma'am, it's not in your blood. You knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted publicity because you're not in any movie, you're not on any web series worth the name. Nobody's looking at you nowadays. You have no career, and you decided to get rich of the Indian Army's name. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Lieutenant General Kulkarni also with us on the broadcast. Before that, Brigadier Hemant Mahajan, if I can come to you, sir, because many say that she was well aware of what she was saying. She basically does not respect the army, and then she had to face that backlash, so she deleted it. But should she not have commented in the very first place if they don't understand Galwan in depth? Is it only for publicity that they come forth to make such loose statements?
What you say is very, very right. She did not have adequate knowledge about Galwan, and possibly she thought that in the Galwan Valley, when the clash took place, Indian Army possibly suffered. What she doesn't know is Indian Army gave such a bloody nose to the Chinese that first time after the 1979 war, which they fought with Vietnam, 70 Chinese soldiers have died here. And this action took place at the sub-zero temperature of -20, -25 degrees centigrade, height of about 14,000, 15,000 feet. The number of our soldiers were much lesser than the Chinese soldiers who were present there. The soldiers were not to use their weapons because of various treaties that were signed over a period of time. Despite being outnumbered, despite not having gone there to fight the battle with the Chinese, these people did a wonderful job of thrashing the Chinese, and they got thrashed so badly that the military commander of the Chinese there was sacked, and the Chinese helicopters for days together ferried the bodies, the injured, to their hospitals back there. And thereafter, there has been so much of resentment on the Chinese social media, Weibo, etc., that young Chinese soldiers now do not want to get posted to Galwan or anywhere near this border. So frankly speaking, it was actually a historic occasion. Then we lost Colonel Babu, commanding officer of 16 Bihar and 19 brave soldiers. But they gave such a thrashing to the Chinese that Chinese learned their lesson. Thereafter, Galwan kind of an incident has not happened. So this actually, I would rate this, what happened in Galwan at the same level as the Battle of Rezangla. Rezangla is one of the most famous battles fought in Ladakh by the Indian soldiers against the Chinese. And that is taught as a military history lesson, let's say in the schools of instructions, etc. So this battle goes in the same level where the soldiers fought extremely bravely and thrashed the Chinese, sorted them out. And for this, the government rightly honored commanding officer Colonel Babu with the Mahavir Chakra, the second highest award of the armed forces. And I think, if I remember it correctly, 5 officers, including 1 or 2 young officers, received Medal, gallantry, etc. So obviously, it was a very, very brave act, and the Chinese learned the lesson, and thereafter Galwan kind of incident has not happened. So possibly Riccha does not know of it. Unfortunately, this is not known adequately to the people.
Yes.
And as many Gaurav was saying before me, I think the Gaurav Arya was there, that for the sake of publicity, they say something. And unfortunately, the social media has given a power to almost anybody and everybody to say something on a subject of which she has very little knowledge. So, and especially the celebrities whose Twitter handles are followed, etc., should not be irresponsible, because they are not only insulting the martyrs, insulting the soldiers, insulting the